Welcome everyone to the 7th match of the first round of the April 2014 Tanoshii tournament. This match our players will be SomeGuy, Tetons, SmithJ and Sandofhell. Two hanchans will be played and top two players by total score will advance to the next round. The players this time contain 3 newcomers and SomeGuy, who is both a long-time commentator of the tournaments and a player in the East and West tournament. The game is going to begin in about 1 minute. And the game begins. First dealer is SomeGuy, whose hand is pretty weak. Dora is Suso. Smith runs on 10 with one of the Dora. Tetons runs on 10, Sandofhell, runs on 10, SomeGuy. That's only Susanten. Sandofhell going for a possible Tanya Dora. Tetons up to Ruanshanten, maybe Pifu Sanshoku. Tetons Ishanten with possible Pifu Sanshoku. Well, not anymore. What? Why? I don't get that discard. Should have been Ruanso, of course. And if backfires hard, it would have been Sanshoku Tenpai for Tetons. Now he has nothing. SomeGuy meanwhile has Dora in Ruanshanten. So what would have been a Riichi Ippatsumo Sanshoku from Tetons now becomes a Riichi Pinfu Takame Sanshoku. Sure, there's still a great chance of him getting a Mangan-Tsumo. There's 2 5-pin and 1 2-pin in the wall, as well as 3 8-pin which don't kill Sanshoku. And the other players seem to be giving up mostly. Sandofhell seems to be attacking still though. Yeah, wait, it was Smith who discarded Dora because he's each for ePayco, but it still made no sense to discard Dora with that shape. So I have no idea what's going on, who is defending and who is attacking and who is doing something completely nonsensical. Smith gets the Aka Upin out of the way at least. None of those for Tetons for a Hanematsumo. Unless Smith gets tempo and discards the 5-pin, well, Furit and Sonoran. And Tetons, despite completely retarded play in the end, gets a win that actually is worth a bit more. Well, actually, he would have got an Ippat, so it's the same amount of points, but in the end gets the Mangatsumo. And takes first place. Now that was his dealer here in each second round. Dora is Sanso and SomeGuy has a hanchan Dora. Might say a fast Mangatsumo type hand. Meanwhile, Sandofhell's hand could become a Yunchan Sansokudora. Pinfu even, but even a Pinfu Sansokudora is really good. As for Smith, he's hanchan for Pinfu. And Tetons dealership hand is Sanshanten. No, it is Ranshanten, but a really bad one. SomeGuy Ishanten Pinfu Dora. Smith also Ishanten. Why did he discard the 6-man? This was the whatever it was a horrible discard. There was no reason to discard 6-man back then.
Reach.
Smith declares the very same reach all he would have gotten anyways. 3 6-pin weight. Has 4 in the wall. What will SomeGuy do against this? Counterattack or... Well, he's not playing it safe yet. If SomeGuy gets a Pursuit Reachi, that would be a big risk to Smith. And SomeGuy draws Smith's winning tile. He cannot attack without discarding that. One option is drawing the last 6-pin from the wall and discarding the south pair. But that's very unlikely. So it doesn't look like SomeGuy can do anything at the moment. Tetons meanwhile is defending alright, as is Sandofhell. At this point SomeGuy has way too many danger tiles and decides to completely bet Ari. So it's 3 players in Betauri against SmithJ, who is in Riichi, and can still Tsumo. There's 3 tiles in the wall. 10 of course would be worth less than just the Northern Bappu. Although with Rich to get it's worth the exact same. Another one of Smith's winning tiles drawn by SomeGuy, and another one by Tetons. This leaves only a single one in the wall. the very same 6-pin that would have allowed SomeGuy to attack. Before, of course, he drew the 3-pin. So Smith has 2 draws left, including the high tay. First one is a miss. Second one is a miss. Smith takes the Ryukaku, 1000 from everybody, and is second place now. SomeGuy still last at Initial Oyakaburi. No, he's third, 1 Honuba, 1 Rich Stick. Tetons has pretty interesting, maybe a Chanta or a Pinsu Honitsu with those 2 Sangenpai pairs. As for the other players, we have Sandofhell with a Hanchan and a crappy one. At that, Smith is only at Hanchan, and SomeGuy in last has a Hanchan for a possible thumping mutable Dora. Tetons spawns. He's now Ishan for just Hatsu. I think should aim higher and go for. But his first place, so maybe a cheap hand is alright. With the center points too. So, Sandofhell got into a pretty good Ishan shape from that crappy starting hand. Double Ryuarmans and 1 Akadora. Now draws an extra Dora that may improve the hand even further. SomeGuy gets to Ishanten, Tanya Doraichi. Discard the 2, so obviously. Now the Tetons can call the Haku at will. Shosangen, however, seems very unlikely. SomeGuy adds a wait for a second Dora to the hand. Tetons Tenpai. Hatsu only 4,300 points, plus 1,300 center points is a gain of 2,600 total. Smith Selection 10. Doragiri here just fine, Sandofhell. SomeGuy calls it though, and is Tempa for Tanya Dora. That's a completely correct call. Betting on Suit G1. All G1s in Smith's hand but 1, so there's only 2 tiles in the wall for SomeGuy to draw. Sandofhell gets one of them. Will he deal in? No, he doesn't. With the 6 pins all gone, giving the 5 pin was a fairly good move. So immediately one has been discarded. It was thanks to a detail in Sandofhell's style efficiency calculation system that avoided deal in for now. Tetons ignores the possibility to Daiminkan. Oh, he got the Haku pair there. Haku Anko, which means the hand is now a full 2,600 points. For a total of 3,900. SmithJ gets Tenpai finally. It seats Tanya Dora waiting on 5 mana. At the moment there's only 1 in the wall. And Sandofhell pursues dealing with SomeGuy. And Tetons! He has a double round out at 2-1. So SomeGuy takes the 3-9 plus all the center points including Smith's Rich Stick. And Tetons only gets a 2-6. Yay for Atamahane. Tetons still fairly happy with the outcome. SomeGuy very happy getting from last place to second. SmithJ loses the reach stick and the good hand, falling down to third. Now entering is fourth already. Dora is Haku. Last place Sandofhell has 1 and first place Tetons has 1. Tetons won't discard his, but Sandofhell might. SomeGuy meanwhile has the hanchan with 1 Akadora secure, another unconnected. And SmithJ has a Tanyo Aka hand, but it's only hanchan. SomeGuy now adds the Akadora into his hand and Pinfu is guaranteed with this shape too. So it will be Pinfu Dora Dora with reach Sumo. He can easily take out Tetons. Sandofhell goes for the Chun only. Just going for a hanchan this time. Not calling the tempo with the pawn though, hoping for a better weight I suppose. But I think the pawn would have been just fine. Now tempo for Sandofhell, 6-0 weight. That's 2 in the wall, 2 in Smith's hand. Smith to hanchan, breaks it up for no reason. SomeGuy still stuck in hanchan. Old Hakus have been killed by now, so Doras are fairly few, but 2 of them in SomeGuy's hand and he's now hanchan. A Roman weight from Sandofhell, but all the 9s was mostly gone, and SomeGuy declares 3 speed for Dora Dora. Paapin Machias. Smith Ipots with Akadora? That's a Haneman run! What are you doing, SmithJ? Reach Ipots speed for 3 Akadora. And with that, SomeGuy is also first place. What sumo for when you can run Haneman? He's no dealer, but his hand is pretty damn bad. As for Tetons, who is no longer first, he could aim for a comeback with this hanchan with maybe Pinfu Aka or Pinfu Ipeiko. Meanwhile, Smith and Sandofhell will be fighting for the third place. The third place bonus may end up being decisive at the very end of this. Tetons hanchan. Choose the widest path to Tempai. In the end I would have decided on discarding 2-man with that shape. Smith and Sandofhell both have Sangenpai pairs, both having discarded the other one's Sangenpai. If they're going for third place at the moment, then going for a Yakuhainoi would be just fine. SmithJ's discard there makes no sense. Ipin was much better. SomeGuy reach hanchan finally on the 8th turn. Tetons going for a shovel weight this time on the 519 pin. Smith hanchan, 2 Dora, then there's a Chun pair and Ipeiko is also possible. Meanwhile, Sands is only Ruanshanten. SomeGuy to Ishanten on a Reichinomi hand. That was now a possibility for Sun Anko actually. SomeGuy Tenpai. Is it time for Reichinomi? Yes, it is. Smith could have a bond in response, decides not to. Tetons, meanwhile, will he just. He can't really defend here, he has to attack.
Boom.
This time Smith calls and, well, breaks Tenpai. I think discarding E-pin and waiting for Chun Rosso would have been just fine. From the last Chun for Mangan.
Chi.
Smith continues with the nonsensical play, this time a Yakules Tenpai waiting on 6-pin. He didn't need a 5th Dora either. 4th one, excuse me. Teton still Ishanten finally gives up, despite drawing a perfectly safe tile. Now what was that supposed to be, huh? Smith still avoiding beta or by almost pure magic. Avoiding Furikomi, that is. Most of some guys' winning tiles are gone, so low chance of Tsumo. This is the last draw for him anyways. Oh, Smith pawns it off and deals in! Smith moves in this round made no sense from beginning to end, and he deals into SomeGuy again. At this point, Smith only has 8,100 points left, while SomeGuy's lead is 7,500. And SomeGuy gets a hanchan here. Dora is 7-pin. Tetons has Roger there for pin for Dora. That's a good counter-attack hand. Sandofhell with a null-pair 1 Dora. Possibly open 2000. SomeGuy might get a pin for Sanshoku, though the discard of the 9-1 was really stupid. And we have Sands going for the South pawn for the cheap open hand. Tetons meanwhile should probably just Tsumogiri this. While going for the 1-1 discard instead. SomeGuy Ishanten on the Sanshoku pinfu at best. Possibly if he draws 3-1 there's only Richie only. 2 calls from Sands. Gets him to Ishanten. That was also Ishanten on pin for Dora. 8-pin of course. And 3 calls from Sands puts him Tenpai waiting on. So then just dug his own grave. Okay, firstly, that discard should have been the 8-pin which Sands can't call. Secondly, he should have discarded the Dora there and just reached. That was just played terribly during that hand, during the end of that hand, and lost points for it. Now he's 9,800 points below SomeGuy, and making it to first place is much harder. It's his dealership, but the hand isn't that great. I guess a ton plus a Dora would do it. Smith, meanwhile, despite being last, has secured 2 Dora. However, the discard 5 one was absolutely horrendous. Tetons going for the east pawn is Isanten for some 3000 points. We have Sansi Isanten for pin for Tanya with an Akadora, possible thumping Dora Dora. And SomeGuy declares a Ricci 1 Dora from first place. This one could have delayed for a moment, but decides to scare Tetons off maybe, and is very successful at that. Ainakin se nippatset suma for it too. SomeGuy with another Mangan now has first place, more or less guaranteed. Up to 50,000 points exactly. Tetons now 21,600 points below. And it's our third round. The only remaining fight here is Smith versus Sands for third place. Sands has been a lot better this game, but maybe Smith can make something happen with this dealer turn. Dora is east, which would help him, but he has nothing. Has none of those. Only a IPK in Ro32. SomeGuy going for a Kuitan a bit over aggressively, aiming to end this round fast. Nobody else has a good hand, so it's not too risky from my point of view. Three of the Dora still in the wall, as well as every single Akadora, so where those land can significantly influence the outcome of the round. Tetons with a Dora pair now, but hand is stuck in Sanshanten. They have the score, but it cannot win. Too slow. SomeGuy Isanten, 7 mana. Tetons Ruanshanten just maybe has a chance. Not with that discard, even if it's Furiten, though. And we have Isanten from Sands as well. I would have preferred a Shah discard than a for Tanyao. Smith still pretty much nowhere at all. See, with that, Sands could have gotten a Tanyao, although it would have been a rather dead weight, empty weight in the 3-pin. That was a wrong move, SomeGuy.
Boom.
Smith actually pawns it. For what purpose, I can't see. Tanyao attempt, maybe.
Boom.
And another pawn, and this time it's even more silly because now he's left with that basically empty, no, completely empty Suban weight. SomeGuy calls, still not temp, I thought. He's a bit confused at the moment, I think. And Sansin Isanten not afraid at all of a Manzu Chinitsu or a Honitsu Doradora, because still no tons visible at all. Of course, the tons stuck in Ruanshanten, so the tons are completely harmless at the moment. And actually, Smith's discard pile does contain a ton, so it wasn't looking that dangerous after all.
Ricci.
And I have the Ricci from Sands, is Ricci only, a 5-pin weight. There is 3 in the wall, so even an Akatsuma is possible. And some guy mysteriously deals into Ippatsu. For example, 8 mana was Genbutsu, although this might look dangerous against Smith's hand. Well, let's say win for Sans, and now his 3rd place is pretty much guaranteed, except for a possible push to 2nd place. He is last dealer, and only 10,000 points to get to Teton. Some guy starts a Taniarus to stop any of those hopes. But Sans with the Chun Anko remains in the battle. Smith meanwhile needs a Hanematsumo to accomplish anything. His current hand has 1 Dora. Had 2 Dora until he discarded one of them. Now it only has 1 and a Hatsuper, so it's not enough to accomplish anything.
G.
Some guys is something as is Sans. Tetons has nothing in comparison. Actually, he is something. What am I talking about? It's just a bad shape. Smith goes open and nothing that makes sense at the moment. Sans still is something. Tetons can only be a Ritsumo Dora. It can't take out some guy no matter what happens. Even pawns for no reason. Is that a Shanta attempt or something? Makes little sense to me to go for Shanta with these tiles. So Teton is no longer Isanten. Now he is.
G.
Smith Isanten on a Yakules piece of crap 1 Dora. Teton Stempa on a Yakules, hand doesn't take it. Smith draws Hatsuanko, hand can only be worth 2-6 regardless. The other 2 still Isanten. Oh, now what will... Okay, Tsumogiri from Sans. I would have preferred a Ruan Giri with that. SomeGuy Tenpai. Paso Ruan Shabo. And a counterpon from Sans to get into Chundoraichi Tenpai. So there's 1 3-man in the wall, 1 Paso, and that's it. So 1 tile for each player. SomeGuy can now improve his weight. Go for a Saburawa Machi, 3-6-man that is. So there's 1 3-man and 2 6-man. So at the moment SomeGuy has the best chance of victory. Sans gets the Ankan and declares it. Nidora is a 2-man which helps SomeGuy a bit and greatly helps Sans, who actually has a dealer Mangan value Tenpai at the moment. Waiting on the last 3-man, which is double raw material to boot. Draws 6-man if he deals in, it's over, it's over. Sans looks scared there for a moment, but in the end SomeGuy manages to clean up the round and takes 1st place securely. So we note down the scores. We have SomeGuy at plus 59, Tetons 2nd place plus 8, Sandofhell at negative 23, and Smith last place at negative 44. Sans showed some potential at the end, but fell short. Maybe the next hanchan will be better. At the moment, of course, SomeGuy and Tetons the favorites to advance. No, is the second hanchan up already? It's starting, I bet. Go ahead and start the game. Thank you very much. Now can I have the spectator link? Alright, in just a couple of minutes we will be back for the second hanchan of this match. The two players who advance will be decided. And we are back for the second half of the match. You can see the scores here. SomeGuy took first place in the previous hanchan with a very strong performance. Tetons hanging on to second place. Sandofhell getting third, and Smith with a poor performance, only fourth place. So at the moment, if SomeGuy and Tetons can continue their strong performance, their advancement is pretty much guaranteed. SomeGuy with the first place is unlikely that he will get knocked out by anyone. Tetons the favorite for second place advancement, but if Sans can get a first place here, then surely he will advance. The game is going to begin in about 2 minutes. We have SomeGuy as the first dealer and Sans as the last dealer again. Only Smith and Teton playing in a slightly different order. The score differences follow the placement differences also, in that the gap between first and second is the largest, and the middle gap is second largest. So while SmithJ has the easiest time overtaking anybody, but in the end overtaking the third place hardly matters if you're fourth yourself. Getting to the top 2 requires a gain of at least 52,000 points with respect to Tetons. And the game begins. SomeGuy first dealer, of course. An OK Sunshine starting hand, 1 Akadora. For the other players we have Sans with a Sunshine also, 1 Dora. Tetons, Sunshine, and Smith, let me guess, Sunshine. Actually, a Sunshine just barely, with a weak shape in the Sozu. I might be able to get a quick one of the east, except one is already down. So nothing that great for SmithJ. Out comes second east, and SmithJ is going to call. And breaks up the Ishanten. Apparently didn't see the Ishanten he had, which would have used the Suso as the pair, and then get Ryonso to the Conscience weight. Tetons might get a Sanshaku and decides, I don't want that thing. I'd rather have a Reach Nami. Last game in the first hand 2 he broke up a Sanchaku Isanten, only to join the same hand fully then later. SomeGuy meanwhile is Isanten, however Dora is waiting on 3 of them have gone to Sand's hand, and Sand's is Ryuan-santen on Tanya or Dora-san. Smith is back to Isanten for the 2000 points hand. And that's a Chi from Sands getting him to Isanten on might be a Tanya Dora-san or maybe a Tanya Sanshuku Dora-Dora. SomeGuy weakens Isanten completely unnecessarily. He could have gone for a Chitoitsu or just kept the full Mansu setup, but instead just think of use. And we have a Dora Yon Tanya Tenpai from Sands. 5-8 man weight. 5 man's mostly gone, but still a total of 4 in the wall. So that's a good chance of winning a manga to start things off with. SomeGuy discards are maybe going towards a Shinitsu Aka, but the T-Pingiri of earlier kind of kills that possibility. Smith draws the 8-man deals in, and we have manga win from Sands, and Smith was last place, but at the moment Sands is hanging on to the advancement. Tetons needs to do something at the moment. SomeGuy has a pay Anko and goes open. He appears satisfied with a simple cheap open hand, as he's the overall first place. Tetons also going for a quick hand with this none only. And just to be left out, we have a Yunchan only attempt from Sands, although it could become a, you could say, Chanta Dora actually, using the Dora Haku for a tanky weight. SomeGuy Isanten on the pay nomi, Tetons Tenpai on non nomi, and Chanta Dora Tenpai from Sands. Smith is behind everybody. The question is only who will he lose points to. Answer is Sands. He gets the Haku and Sumos. Chanta Dora Sen Nisen. Sands' lead is now 13,000 points above Tetons and SomeGuy. And he's cleanly hanging on to the advancement at the moment. Now Tetons is stealing and going for a fast Hatsu. To counter that we have fast Jun from Sands. Sands to Isanten already. Dora is done. SomeGuy has a pair, Smith discards it, and SomeGuy pawns to Isanten. And breaks the Isanten. It was a bad Isanten break because the 3-pin isn't that useful with this shape. Meanwhile, a better Isanten shape from Sands. Tetons keeps calling, but he's only Ryuan-santen despite Tsufuro. Might actually get a Toito in the long run. Smith meanwhile has 2 Akadora, Ryuan-santen, possible Tanya, and Tenpai from Sands. 5-8 pin weight. 3 in the wall total. Okay, Jasutsu. Now SomeGuy finally gets his dream Isanten. And deals into Sands immediately after that. So at the moment it has been 3 consecutive wins from Sandofhell. He wasn't quite at the bottom of the pit, but apparently has gotten some kind of power boost from being deep down. The second hanchan he has been dominant and is now going clean for the advancement. SomeGuy hanging on to advancing as well. Smith going for a double last place at the moment. This time his hand is a okay, he has a perfect Dora Haku, and that might work in his favor. Meanwhile, SomeGuy got this fast pawn of the east. Now he can gun it, but there's still no need of doing that. The hand itself is hanchan. Tetons let's go off the Haku. Now that's a bad mistake. Smith is tenpai. And takes the weight, lets him gun. That might become a factor later. SomeGuy might gun here. Does not. But he keeps it on still. Why did SmithJ here? Seriously? Why? It's an Itsu attempt. I guess Itsu. That's pretty clever in a way. So if he gets the fourth Haku and guns it and then gets Itsu, that would be Haneman. Which is of second place guaranteed for Smith. SomeGuy finally throws away the final ton. Tetons gets a gun of Kyuso, not declaring it yet. SomeGuy tenpai. Choose your 3-way weight, huh? Just to go for the Suchi So-machi instead of the Ruan-Hu Sanwan-machi. And this weight looks worse from a glance, but it was a slightly more dangerous tile to discard. In any case, it's a good chance to win some 2,600 points. Immediate backfire on SomeGuy's weight. And Smith gets that sumo. And that's a manga from Smith, so Smith takes second place immediately. That was quite a fail from SomeGuy. He is still advancing, but he needs to improve it a bit. Smith declares a Kyushu Kyuhai. So we get a Honba and a redeal. Dora is even. SomeGuy and Sands both have Yakuhai pairs. Well, Dora has most of the... Smith has most of the Dora. SomeGuy with a quick call of the ton. Already hanchan on the hand. Smith is hanchan a possible 3-spin for Aka. SomeGuy draws second Dora. Now this hand could win even dealer Mangan if he gets the final Dora in the wall. Smith doesn't really seem to be aiming for high scores in either of these games, despite being last place for so long. SomeGuy tenpai with a great Ryoman weight. Just a matter of time before he wins. Honitsu will be far too greedy. And SomeGuy by winning gets second place, which of course is a guaranteed advancement. Tetons is the one who deals in close to last now. So at the moment it's SomeGuy and Sands in a clean advancement position, while Smith and Tetons going to get knocked out of the game, the tournament. SomeGuy's dealership continues here in the South first round. You have a Dora Dora for Sands. Hanchan then start to possibly Yunshan even, but just reach Dora Dora is fine. Smith going for the Kokushimuso. I take back what I said about him not going for expensive hands. Yakuza would certainly help him advance from this mess. Okay, Smith is now... He's got no pairs, so he needs just 2 more orphans for the Tenpai. Meanwhile, Sen's going for a more effective Dora Dora hand, possibly even San Anko Dora-san. And that's Ishanten for Sans. Going for the San Anko. SomeGuy only Hanchan, Tetons only Hanchan. No, Tetons is Hanchan, Pinfu Aka. Tetons draws a Dora, Sumogiri. Can't call that. And SomeGuy also gets a Dora. Sumogiris because Furiten. And that's going to make Sans really mad because his Dora pair is now a bad weight. Sans gets Tenpai. Now will he go for San Anko or... San Anko seems a bit better actually. The weight is only 1 worse and the terminal is likely to come out. No, it goes for a Damaten, so he cannot run anything. Of course, by not calling, he might get a Ipeko and then switch into Su Anko. And now he gets a Ryomobet and declares Richie on that. So no concern about getting some kind of Hanematsumo. He's going straight for the fastest possible win with the widest weight. But SomeGuy denying quite a few of his winning tiles. Of course, by waiting on middle tiles, SmithJ can't get Tenpai. He's Ishanten and Kokushimuso, but it just might completely fail on him. Smith is in for no real reason. That's just a 3,200 points, 2 Horma for 3,800 points. With that, SmithJ is knocked further in 3rd place, and it's even stronger a case of Sans and SomeGuy advancing. Comebacks seem very unlikely at the moment. SmithJ gets a dealership. He hasn't really done anything with those this game or the entire match. Now going for a very cheap Haku Akaichi Atotsuke play. Bonding the Messenger. Tanoshii meanwhile is Ishanten on Riichi Aka. It's the Hatsu pair, but there's no need to bond it at the moment. And absolutely no need to call that tile. Thank you. SomeGuy and Sans with crappy hands in comparison to Smith, for example. Of course, it only means that SomeGuy's Hakugiri will be delayed. We have Sans going for a Tanya, but he's still Sanshanten. There's Haku, Smith in a Realman weight Tenpai for 3,000 points, waiting on Su Chiwan. There's a full 7 in the wall, so Tsumo chance is really good. Tetons declares Reichi Akadoraichi, waiting on 2 5-mana. That weight is 4 in the wall, no, 3 in the wall. Smith and Tetons fighting to get 3rd place in the 2nd Hanchan. It's not about advancing at the moment, it's about honor and maybe the possibility of advancing with a massive comeback in a later hand. Meanwhile, top 2 just playing safe, letting the bottom 2 take it out on each other. Okay, we have an attack from Sans, Tanoshii or Ishanten, and having 3 Dora does somewhat increase motivation for attacking. Yes, I can understand that. Sans is Tempai, but it's a double Furiten. There's only one tile to wind the wall. Maybe just give up on that. And he draws Tetons winning it and basically discards it. That's a direct hit of 2,600 points. And make no mistake, if Tetons can overtake Sans, Hell is going to advance over Sans. But it's going to require a few more direct hits for that to happen. Entering South third round, Smith lost his last dealership, so comeback chance is practically 0 for him. And this is Tetons dealership, so we're asking if Tetons can make the miracle comeback and advance from this round. Dora is Pawan. Sanchez 2 Dora, doesn't really need any of them. Tetons with 1 Dora, Ishanten Pinfu, a good shape. SomeGuy with a bad hand and SmithJ hand, while Ishanten isn't good enough for anything that matters. Smith Ishanten. Tetons might add IPK to that's a Dora killer. Tetons can also go for a reach Dora Takametania, of course, by drawing everyone U1. And we have a call towards Open Tanya from Sans, who is currently having 3 Dora again. Let's hope he doesn't deal into Tetons again. And now 5 mana is the correct discard here. Well, the shape can still work, of course. 5 mana is a bit more effective. Actually, a lot more effective because many of the 6 diamond are gone. So perhaps Tetons leadership will end with a shaping capable of truly winning anything. Okay, now Tetons has a Sampin pair which might turn things around. Sans Ishanten, SomeGuy, Ishanten with a Yakules hand. Smith is Ruan Shanten.
Boom.
Smith calls into Ishanten for Tanya Doraichi. Is that really what you want? It's not worth anything that matters at the moment. So it's Ishanten, 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 Ishanten. We'll be the first one to Tempai. The Tetons hand is really powerful with that Dora Dora, but his winning chances are quite low. There's enough time. That should be a call. On the 5 mana, discard 2 pin. Tetons stays closed though. I know you want an expensive hand, but the range is more important than anything else. If you can't hanchan, it's over. SomeGuy draws Dora and plays it safe. Tetons still not calling. Sands Tenpai, Tanya Dorasan.
Kan.
Smith calls a diving gun. It's Southwind, nobody's using those. Some guy's giving up this one. Tetons finally Tenpai. Pinfu Dororo Takami Peko. And Smith is Tenpai by that time. Smith kills Tetons and his own advancement chance with that one. Unless either can pull off a Yakuman, which actually isn't impossible. Looking at Tetons' starting hand, they will be knocked out. Tetons kills off the Yakuman, and with that, it's settled. SomeGuy and Sans will advance. There is no outcome here that can change that. Because there is no way Tetons or Smith can get enough score. And just dropped it in, we have a Sanshuku Ishanten from Sands. Can be a Pinfu as well. The only terrible discards draws would be 5-8 pin, which gives me Yaku-less Tanki Tenpai. Some guys also Roshanten. Okay, Tetons has some really good draws. I was thinking that if he goes for a Chitoitsu Dorayon Reach Tsumu, that Baiman would actually take first place. But even this could be a Hatsudora Go Toi Toi for Baiman. So, despite what I said, there's still a possibility of Tetons making a miracle comeback. Hanematsumo is not enough though. He needs a Baiman. And that's a Tenpai finally for Sands, 5-8 pin weight, Pinfu Nomi. Tetons Hatsuanko, there's still a chance. If you can get this Baiman, I mean, that is Haneman guaranteed, anyone can see that Toitoi makes the Baiman. After that, Stanako doesn't really help. Sans Drosidora, he knows this is one of the few ways he can actually lose here. He keeps it. And Tetons Baiman Tenpai. If he can sumo, he will advance. At the moment, both 5 pins in some guy's hand. The one last Suan in the wall. Tetons has one tile for the comeback. Can he possibly get it? Of course, this is the last round, no matter what, this is the last chance to do anything. Some guys this Tenpai, that really doesn't matter. He doesn't have to take it if he doesn't want to. Tetons has one single draw left. One single chance for the comeback. That's one hell of a miracle hand. But it requires another miracle to Tsumo. Here it comes. He gets it! Tetons gets the Baiman Tsumo the last draw! That's a comeback! That's a comeback! What a miracle! Oh my god! Tetons! This, if anything, is magical sand. Buy one sumo! So with that, Tetons is plus 50. SomeGuy is plus 42. Sandofhell only gets to positive 16 in the end, and Smith is very negative. And that should be a negative 16. Oh my god, Tetons. Congratulations for that one. Last round, last sumo. Behemoth sumo comeback from last to first. Wow. He even takes the match overall because he was gonna place the first round. That was something. Well, thanks for watching. The next match in about 2 hours and I will be commentating again. So hope to see you then. Until then, thank you for watching.